All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, don't look now, but the Georgetown Hoyas are in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2015 after they won the Big East tournament for the first time since 2007. Now, the Hoyas are hot as they became the first 8 seed to win the Big East tournament, and that's very hard to believe because the Big East tournament has been around now for about 40 years. Now, Patrick Ewing is currently the head basketball coach at Georgetown, and he has gotten his alma mater to the NCAA tournament in just his 4th season as he is looking to really turn things around for this once storied program. Now, the biggest question for the Hoyas, will they be able to keep the momentum going? Because we've seen in years past, especially with teams who get hot in the Big East tournament, they're not always able to keep that momentum going in the NCAA tournament. I think back to Syracuse in 2006 when they entered the Big East tournament as a 9 seed. They ran the table, and then their first round game in the NCAA tournament, they were done. On the flip side, we saw UConn get hot in 2011, led by Kemba Walker, and they rode that wave of momentum all the way to an NCAA championship, so we'll have to see. But for Georgetown to keep that momentum going, they're going to have to rely on some of their key players, such as Javon Blair, Qudus Wahab, and Jamarco Pickett, and it's a situation, Georgetown, they did a great job in the Big East tournament, flying around to the basketball defensively, dominating the boards, and most importantly, they hit their open shots, and they also cut down on their turnovers. So that was disciplined basketball that they played, and they got to try to find a way to keep that momentum going because they're the 12th seed in the East, and they're getting ready to take on a Colorado team that looked like they were on the verge of winning the Pac-12 tournament until they got upset by Oregon State. But you look at it, historically in the NCAA tournament, that 5-12 matchup is always a toss-up. We see darn near every year at least one 5 seed get bumped out. So, Georgetown has to definitely be thinking about that. But more importantly, they got to go out there and take care of their business. Like I said, they got to try to find a way to keep this momentum going because if you're Georgetown, you knew that the only way for you to get to the NCAA tournament, you had to run the table at the Garden. Really didn't raise a lot of eyebrows after they knocked off Marquette in the first round, but then when they upset top seeded Villanova, it was still like, Nova's dealing with injuries. They kept it going versus Seton Hall, but I think Georgetown really showed that they are ready for the big dance when they upset Creighton, and not only upset Creighton, dominated Creighton in the championship of the Big East tournament. So for Patrick Ewing, it was a topsy-turvy week as he returned to Madison Square Garden. Of course, didn't get the love that he properly deserved from MSG Security, and if you listen to my podcast, we talked about that last night. But Ewing right now, who knows how to win in Madison Square Garden, he's done plenty of it. When he played for the Knicks, he came back to that building, his building, as he will call it, and, did his thing. I think it was great for Georgetown. They won this tournament right on the 49-year anniversary of when John Thompson II was hired to take over at Georgetown back in 1972. This Hoya team played like a John Thompson era-led Georgetown team, and hopefully for their sake, they can keep that momentum going into this week in the NCAA tournament. I really think that this year's tournament is going to be a crapshoot more than any year in years past. So you know what? At the end of the day, Georgetown really does have a puncher's chance in this field of 68. We'll just have to wait and see how things play out. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.